Now your starting lineups first for the U14 Green Bay Gamblers. Starting at goal, number 32, Wes Johnson. Starting on defense, number 21, Mario Savino. And number 14, Mike Anderson. Starting on the wings, number 8, Wes Berg. And number 26, Reese Shaw. Starting at center, number 23, Adam Tim. Now please welcome the rest of the Gamblers. The Green Bay Gamblers are coached by Brian Rafalski. Now the starting lineup for the Blue Army, starting at goal, number 32, Carson Muster. Starting on defense, number 4, John Novak. And number 10, Joey Sylvester. Starting on the wings, number 3, Aiden Willis. And number 71, Tommy Boisjolet. Starting at center, number 22, Ashton Dawn. Now please welcome the rest of the Blue Army. Blue Army is coached by Sean Harrison and Ted Conference. Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you stand as you are able and remove your caps when playing the national anthem.
It's a great day for hockey here in Bloomington, Minnesota, as we've got the U14 Gold Championship matchup. Up next, it's the Junior Green Bay Gamblers taking on Blue Army. My name's Eric Zamora, bringing you the play-by-play action. Blue Army in the white uniforms with blue numerals outlined in red, going from left to right here in period number 1. 15 minutes up on the board. And a big collision at the red line to start off action. Green Bay, in the black uniforms, white numerals with Wisconsin written across the chest and a little bit of yellow in there as well. They'll be their starting line consisting of center Reese Shaw. On the left side, Wes Berg. Adam Tim, the center for that top line, with Sean Berg as his wings. left defense, Mario Savino. Right defense, Anderson. And Wes Johnson in between the pipes for Blue Army. Carson Musser gets the start with Joey Sylvester on the right side defensively and John Novak on the left side. Right wing is Tommy Boisjoli, centered by Ashton Doms. And on the left wing side, Aiden Willis. Quick whistle to stop action here in just over a minute gone by in the opening frame. The two teams undefeated to this point of the tournament, reaching the championship game. However, it is Blue Army that is a perfect 4-0. The Green Bay Gamblers do have a draw, a game that I called a 2-2 tie with the Sioux Falls Power. And they will control in their own zone. Looking to get it out is Sam Verbonik. Held in at the point. Tipped away. And popping out, it will be brought in offside, so having to let it go was Alex Carrillo, just out of the reach of the intended target. And so we will have a stoppage here with exactly 2 minutes gone by. Draw will come outside of Green Bay's blue line. Spinning and wasting no time is Aiden Willis. He's got a couple of goals and 5 points. So far, Willis tries to steal it back at neutral ice. Connor Schramm involved with the play and knocked down. Now brought into the offensive zone by Brody Dietz. They'll try a sharp-angled shot. Probably looking more for a rebound than a clean goal, but Wes Johnson comes up with a stop. 2.5 minutes in. The Junior Gamblers knocked off the Arizona Junior Coyotes 3-0 and My Edge 11-3 in pool play before drawing with Sioux Falls yesterday. And this morning in the semifinal game, victorious over True North by a score of 4-1. That game taking place over on Rink 2 at 7:15. The path for Blue Army, 14-0 victors over the Highland Park Falcons. Defeated True North 7-5. The Madison Capitals 7-0. And then easily their tightest contest to this point. They were victorious over Sioux Falls Power by a score of 3-1. That game taking place at 7 o'clock, so a quick-ish turnaround, but certainly there have been worse in this tournament. And bringing into the offensive zone, coming up on the backhand, denied! A left pad save by the netminder Johnson. Trying to force that through was Liam Hupka. And Blue Army will elect to make a change. And able to do just that. That was Verbonik looking for an outlet and couldn't find where to go with it. Steered aside was Kyle Dahl. Chipped up and now brought into the offensive zone. Firing a shot, but cleared aside. No issues there as Marty teed that one up. Tall to the task was Carson Musser. This one will go high and at an angle. thought it had a chance to squirt over the glass and out of play, will stay in. We do have a resurfacing planned here in between periods 1 and 2. And if you are curious, as this game was slated to start at 12:15, certainly behind the schedule there. That was due to an overtime game the game before. Off the crossbar, unable to get that to go, was Adam Tim, the starting center. A collision and a whistle stopping the action, but Tim hitting the crossbar just to the left of where it met the goalpost. Had upper 90 pegged and didn't miss that by much. In the U15 division, Blue Army, their older counterpart, advanced to the championship game. That was the one prior to this, and took it the distance, eventually falling in a shootout. So congratulations to the U15 True North squad, as they were crowned champions not long ago. Again, the reason that this one got started a little bit late, as the older level plays a little bit longer periods and then needed 2 3-minute overtime periods of 4-on-4 and 3-on-3 before going to a 3-man shootout format. So that answers the questions as to what happens if this one stays even through regulation. 3 minutes of 4-on-4, 3 minutes of 3-on-3, and a 3-man shootout. The U15 championship needed all of them. Giving chase is Chuck Owens. Owen bodied into the corner. 8:15 left to go in a scoreless first period. A penalty-free period to this point. And I probably should have knocked on something, as Verbonik sends it out front. And the netminder wasn't 100% sure. He thought he'd made the stop, but looking around to make sure that was still in his possession. 8 minutes exactly when this puck will be dropped. I should say 8 minutes left on the faceoff. Bo Kralovic. And a big collision there as Boisjoli collides with Schramm of the Gamblers. Offside. And that will stop the clock with 7:47 remaining in our opening period. The netminder, Johnson, peers over his left shoulder. Collision behind the cage. And again, this time it's Boisjoli throwing his weight around. Netminder covers up with a glove. We've reached the halfway point of this first period, and then a second. 7:29 left to go in the first. The draw will come to the right of the netminder, but looks like Jake Fisher to take it. And they will instead slide over Ashton Doms. Doms gives chase for the puck that he pushed forward right off the draw. A hit thrown there, bringing into the offensive zone and trying to feed it over. That ended up getting knocked away as Berg in with Tim. And Berg comes in, looked like he was seeking some retribution. Willis stays on side and then dishes off. Intended target, it was Boisjoli. Schmidt in on the play. And this is flipped deep by Sylvester, Joey Sylvester, keeping the play alive for Blue Army. Again, with a perfect record of 3-0 for the Junior Gamblers. They do have one blemish on their record, a draw, but have yet to taste defeat, and they'd like to keep it that way and come up with a championship here. Into the offensive zone goes Howard, Zach Howard, second on the team in both goals and points, trailing only Reese Shaw. Shaw with 5 and 6. Howard 4 and 5. Turned over, snapping a shot, and the netminder got just a piece of it to send it north of that crossbar. Howard comes up with the stop and will be able to garner the whistle, get the stoppage as that puck went sailing into the netting. Played behind the net and looking to escape as Hupka. Stymied was Jake Fisher as he had his pocket picked. And from the ice, Schramm trying to advance the gameplay. Pressured behind the cage. But the Gamblers will come away with possession. Dancing through, trying to get the goaltender to open up his legs, firing a shot, and Howard didn't miss by much. And out of play goes the puck. We've got 4:50 left in a scoreless first frame. Stick around. We don't want you to miss any action. We want to let you know that the break between periods 1 and 2 will be just 60 seconds. We will have no ice resurfacing until we reach the second intermission. Michael Anderson able to clear that up the boards. Ty Obi to get it out, and does. Finishing a check there, Kralovec. And on the near side boards, knocked down by Dietz. Dietz now will step up into the slot, fed perfectly, and I believe the netminder got a piece of that with his stick shaft as that sent it up and over and out of play, stopping the clock with 4:11 to go. We appreciate everyone tuning in to this Youth Hockey Hub production. It is a football Sunday, and imagine a number of Packer fans tuning in as the Gamblers from the same town, and actually the USHL squad, the Green Bay Gamblers, playing at the Resch Center, which is right next door to Lambeau Field. Had an opportunity to call a few games there from the Resch Center in my time as the voice of the Des Moines Buccaneers in the USHL. Held in at the point. Sylvester throws towards the net. It's tipped at And trying to tap it home was Boisjoli. Unable to, as it was held firmly by the netminder. Johnson comes up with the stop and will again be tested, again tall to the task. Scooch helps get it out of the zone. DDD pass over for Coring. Coring takes his time, gets to the red line. Drop pass a little bit off the mark for Cooper Conway, but knowing that he had a lot of room to work with, didn't need to be precise, just needed to make sure that it wasn't picked off. And withstanding some resistance is Schramm. Schramm backhands that around for Scooch. Thrown towards the net. And traffic out front. Onamon trying to create a screen. See if he couldn't deflect it in. Try to create something to make the work of Carson Musser a little bit more difficult. But he made that look easy. And comes up with a stop. In the offensive zone, Green Bay unable to control the draw. Doms wins that one from the circle. Dietz sends it up and played into the offensive zone. With it is Savino. They'll exchange into the zone. From the left side is Shaw. Savino steps up and dislodged from the puck. It'll be played from right to left. Under 2 minutes left in this opening period. And with it is Wes Berg. Berg fires, and for a split second from our vantage point, that looked dangerous as it made the twine dance, but on the wrong side. And then snapping a shot, Berg in the slot, the lefty denied. Calling for it immediately as Blue Army was changing, and Berg fires that one. And Musser, you could see it first, getting set to reach for it, seeing that it was going to be well off the mark, elected to let that go. Last thing he wants to do is touch it and either have it go in off him or more likely potentially leave a bad rebound somewhere. This is Schmidt. John Schmidt bringing it up the right wing side. Wraps it around. John Novak plays it deep. Centering pass out front. And we're in the final minute of action here. Verbonik across the line. Boisjoli able to disrupt and throw that pass off as that was kept in by Schramm. It was close, but well onside. Kralovec clangs one off the glass behind the left ear of Musser. He'll pop back up as he was crouched down, trying to guard that near side post. 15 seconds left. And perhaps an opportunity here late in the period. Kralovec misses. Howard goes to retrieve. Kralovec there to break it up. 3 seconds left. And Blue Army will get out of the zone, and that should put an end to the period. No score in the U14 Gold Championship game. The junior Gamblers out of Green Bay and Blue Army scoreless after one. We'll be back in 60 seconds with more from the Western States Invitational on Youth Hockey Hub. Second period action. We switch ends in black with white numerals, and gold are the Green Bay Junior Gamblers, and they're tested right out of the chute as the scoring opportunity steered to the corner. Blue Army in white, blue numerals, and nameplate with red trim going from right to left, and they're defending right now as Dahl gets tangled up. Spinning around and spinning out is Green Bay's Schramm. A drive in the slot, wasting no time to let that one rip, was Fisher. And Ty James helping to dig that puck out of the zone. Backhanded right back in by Blue Army. They get it to center ice and no further. Griffin dumps it in. James will take over duties from there. Creates some separation and leaves it for Owen Amon. Boisjoli has his shot, and here it's tipped in. Aiden Willis gets the goal. It was originated from the point, comes at the 1 minute, 41 second mark of period number 2. And Blue Army takes the 1-0 lead, and was just going to say, as Willis gets his third of the tournament, that Boisjoli had a shot that was blocked. The rebound goes right to the point, and a fortuitous break indeed, as if the shot goes through, unlikely that the Blue Army would have been able to capitalize on it. But sometimes it's better to be lucky, as it heads right out to the right side. The defenseman fires it, and then out of mid-air, Willis is able to deflect it. And so Dietz taking it, and in the end, Boisjoli ends up picking up the assist on it, and the net comes off, as sliding over is Johnson. And he's going to be helped by the official. The 2-2 draw against Sioux Falls. The other time I saw this Junior Gambler squad, we saw Aiden Garapi in between the pipes and did a nice job in that one. Always a luxury to have two solid goaltenders you can rely on. This will be played into the offensive zone and stolen away from there. Back and forth action. Now, Green Bay trying to move it over, right to left D-to-D pass, and that was dangerous, nearly picked off. Stepping up, keeping it alive is Talon Blank. Through traffic, and you could hear the thud as that puck hit the blocker, and didn't see his teammate already in the zone, well offside, as Dahl brings it in. So we'll have a face-off coming outside the Green Bay blue line. They trail by a score of 1-0 thanks to Willis, Dietz, and Boisjoli. fighting off some pressure. Savino gets upended, but pops right back up and looks to join the rush. Blank helping out. Howard knocks it down. And Savino shouldered by his opposition, giving chase, seeing if he could pry something loose there was Brody Dietz, but Johnson giving no opportunities. And Reese Shaw on the face-off. It pops out. Blue Army will need to touch up and get several players out of the zone. Shouldered there by Boisjoli. Now into the offensive zone and thrown out. Slipping around one man was Doms. Schmidt, and they'll make the handoff. Long outlet pass ahead and covered by the netminder. Johnson on one end, Musser on the other, both wearing 32. And on the faceoff, Jake Fisher matches up against Adam Tim. Low shot that changed angles and missed on the shooter's side. Nice agility there shown by the referee to hug the boards and hop up out of the way of the puck as to not get in its path. A little bit of trying to avoid altering the play, a little bit of self-preservation there as well. At the red line, tipped away by Dahl. He'll feed that over to a teammate. And all Blue Army able to do is get it deep. Verbonik will advance it to Amon. Backhand effort, sitting there loose for a second. Taking a crack at it was Will Marty as Kralovec left a juicy rebound with his offering. Now the Gamblers. This one pinballs off of Willis. And Green Bay into the offensive zone. The officials' hands stay down. The Badger State team thought they were going to have a penalty called there, and then netminder Wes Johnson went to play the puck. Got enough of it in the sense that it didn't go very far, but it did throw off the pursuing Blue Army player. Faked him out, and he does cover up with the glove. Thrown over, Dietz keeps it alive. Waiting. And Griffin advances that ahead. Tanner Brunder with a touch. Backhanded by Doms up for Brunder. And tracked down by Green Bay. Offside as Doms is dropped after the puck had cleared. Blank dishing it out. And Willis denied with a right pad save by the netminder. And a collision behind the play, and the official there to mediate. As I thought we were going to see a penalty called there, none coming. And a deft little drop. I think it fooled everybody, including the recipient. Blocker save off that shot from the point. The goaltender coming out, and I don't know if that was a designed fake, but Musser doesn't play it. His teammate sweeps it away from him at the last second. They'll open things up. They'll go from left to right. Here's Blank, feeds it over, and from one knee, Howard tries to pull the trigger, and the chamber empty. Now Blue Army coming the other way. It's a 2-on-2 and turns more into a 1-on-3 with some late trailers. Stepping through is Carrillo. He's got 4 points on the tournament, all assists. Just one goal in this one, 141 into second period, an even strength goal scored by Aiden Willis from Brody Dietz and Tommy Boisjoli. .622, puck goes out of play. Fisher on the draw, working against Kralovic. They'll chop at it. And Coring. And the netminder caught out of position for a moment. He gets back in time. Wraparound attempt, no. You could tell that's where he wanted to go. But before it was able to bring it around, the play blown dead. As we have a dislodged net from its moorings. 6:07 when we will drop this puck. Missing on that breakout pass was Blue Army Junior Gamblers. Countering. Wraparound attempt. And sliding over in time. A big collision there. And then a collision with the netminder. The netminder takes exception as Obi slams into him. And he is down, calling for time, and has yet to get it. Now at the other end, and now we have a stoppage in the action, and we will have the medical staff come out to tend to Carson Musser. A collision between a couple of skaters just inside the blue line of Blue Army, and then crashing in to the netminder was Green Bay's Obi. And this is a situation where Sam Stockman, the other netminder for Blue Army, came off the bench and started stretching out just in case he needed to go in. It looks like Musser is going to stay with it as we're back in action. 5:16 left to go in our second. Slipping through was Ashton Doms. Blue Army. Chipping at it was Willis. Not the same type of deflection, but looking for the exact same goal. A shot from the right point. And 3 looking to redirect it home. Bodies collide. And James, it's turned over. Willis goes after it. And offside as it's brought across the line by Ty James. 4.5 remain in our second frame. And both of these teams will have the opportunity to try to adjust and take some time, talk things over in the locker room between periods 2 and 3. Sean Erickson, coach for Blue Army, former NHLer Brian Rafalski, calling the shots for Green Bay. Drop pass, or attempt at least, by Brunder. Brunder has to get back on it himself. Thrown towards the net, but picked off. Fighting to get it out, and now coming back into his own zone, looking for some space, is Shaw. That attempt picked off. Tripped up at the blue line is Novak. Novak comes away with it. Skies one, but off the mark as that goes into the corner. And we will check to see if we've got any ongoing right now scores to give you. Do have a couple of championships to report, as the U12 and U15 championships are already in the books. This is held in, and a shot on as it was Kralovec, unable to slip one past Musser. In the U12 Gold Division, Minnesota Fire defeating Great Plains by a score of 5-2. Fire going a perfect 5-0, winning their 3 pool games, the semifinal and the championship. And it was True North with a 2-1 record in pool play in the U15 division. There's almost some friendly fire. It was softly thrown toward his own net, handled by Musser. But True North, with a 2-1 pool play record, their lone loss in the U15 division, only 4 teams. And they exacted revenge on the U15 Blue Army. Blue Army sailed through unscathed in pool play, going a perfect 3-0 and outscoring their opposition by a sizable margin, but were able, the True North squad, to find a way and win the rematch and take home the U15 title here at the Western States Invitational. Firing a shot, but unable to find the target, was Howard. Blue Army looking to get out of the zone. They'll get more than that. Willis will give chase. Hands off. And a fantastic stop by the netminder. It goes off the inside of his glove and then right into his chest, and he's able to squeeze it tight there. Nice job by Willis to leave that for Dietz, who just let one go. And Johnson make sure there is no rebound. Wrapped around the boards, Verbonic. Here's Dietz, steps up from the right circle. That was creeping up on the netminder. Fought off by his chest protector. Then he comes over and covers. Minute 31 left in our second period, which saw the only goal to this point. Aiden Willis, just 101 seconds into the middle frame. Chipped ahead, slipping around one man. And drug over by Verbonic. He finds a teammate, Ty Obi, on the right side. Obi trying to bring that one back down to the surface. And fighting to get that towards the net was Carrillo. Musser slides over and hangs on with 57.4. Chipped out and giving chase was Conway. He was hoping to be sprung there. Unable to. Now with it is Fisher. Feeds it up the right side. They'll slam on the brakes. Novak gets it back. Brunder loses the handle, but it went right to Fisher in the slot behind him. And not the way he planned it, but nearly got an assist out of it nonetheless. 22 seconds remaining in our second period. They'll play it back in just onside, held onto by the netminder. And that leaves 16.3 ticks on the clock. We'll have a defensive zone face-off on the way, as the goaltender Johnson trying to get out of this period with his squad just down by 1. Kralovic on the face-off. And Boisjoli Lee, we're going to have a penalty. And it took a while, but it will be called against Westberg. Hooking the call with exactly 10 seconds to play. Likely not a factor here in the second period, but it will give Blue Army an opportunity starting off the third to try to build on their lead. But there are still 10 seconds. They'll see what they can do now. Off the face-off. Taken by Doms, and they make it count. They throw it out front, and it's slammed home, getting the goal for Blue Army. And all fired up is Ashton Doms. It's a good thing the boards are as tall as they are. He tried to leap out of the building, and we've got ourselves a 2-0 lead in the closing seconds of period number 2. 16:55, time of the goal. And a little smoke on the water played to end period number 2. We will take a break in the action, and we will be back 2-0. Blue Army leads here in the U14 Gold Division Championship game over the Green Bay Junior Gamblers. You're watching the 2019 Western States Invitational on Youth Hockey Hub. Third period just about to start here from the Bloomington Ice Garden, and it is Blue Army on top of the junior Green Bay Gamblers by a score of 2-0, and they've got the lead in bringing it in. What's interesting here is I could have sworn at the end of the period we had a penalty here at the closing seconds. But we skate 5-on-5 here. Into the offensive zone, sent over, and Boisjoli, that one slips through the glove of the netminder off the post and out. A nifty little pass, and now I remember exactly why. It was a power play goal that took place at the 16:55 mark of period number 2, and looked like a seamless enough play. 10 seconds left to go in the period, and they threw it out front, and Ashton Doms able to come up with a big one. Blocker save there as it was shot on by the Gamblers' Matt Scooch. Giving chase there was Howard. This will go down the length of the ice and icing the call with 13:41 left to go in period number 3. Good to see Carson Musser staying in the game after that collision he had with a Gambler player. The athletic training staff tending to him here from the Bloomington Ice Garden, but elects to stay in the game. Low shot, Howard, kicked out by Musser. Tested early in this period, and Novak trying to pull that ahead over for John Schmidt. Please stay with us after the conclusion of this one. We'll send it down ice level for the presentation of the championship awarded here. It's the U14 Gold Championship game we're in, and right now Blue Army in control by a 2-0 score, and Conway makes a handoff to Fisher. Fisher fires, and that one I think got a piece of the netminder's helmet before skipping off and into the corner. The Green Bay Junior Gamblers in black uniforms, white numerals, and yellow with Wisconsin written across the chest. Going from right to left, and there's an inadvertent collision. Scooch and Carrillo get tangled up with one another. Fisher now over Carrillo. And we've got a whistle behind the play as it looks like offsides the call. The officials look set just outside of the Blue Army blue line. That takes a hop, a skip, and a jump, ends up settling down for Brody Dietz. Dietz behind the net and lays it off. Sent over by Dahl. Dahl moves from right to left. They'll hold it at the line. They try a drop pass. Intended target, Caden Samper. And he'll give chase now. Backed up by Fisher. With it is Kralovec. Reaching out is Obi. Get a piece of it, slow it down, and most importantly, negate what would have been an icing. Fisher has that one dislodged from him. Spinning, wasting no time, advancing it is Aiden Willis. Willis with the opening goal. Came just minute 41 into our second period. No score through the first 15 minutes of play. Sylvester backs up, switches over from right to left. Tipped at, but tipped in the wrong direction for Blue Army's liking. Ashton Doms with the attempt there. And then the other goal scorer, Willis, dumped out front of the crease. He'll pop back up with 10:51 left in regulation. Should we need it, and we did the game before, we would go to a 4-on-4, then 3-on-3. The netminder drying himself off as Wes Berg kicked up some snow. I feel like every time you see a player snow a goalie, it draws the ire of the goalie's team. And the way I look at it is that was blocked down, unless it's something where they had plenty of time and you can tell there's no doubt. Give them the benefit of the doubt, because what is the alternative? If Berg doesn't slam on the brakes there and kick up some snow, he's crashing into your goalie. I mean, the last thing you want to do is have any contact there. And bringing in his Willis. Willis fires, and they're waiting to try to pounce on a loose puck was Ashton Doms. But none surrendered by the netminder. 10:09 left to go in regulation. The two goals coming from starting players for Blue Army, as Doms, the center, Willis, the wing, and they'll pop the bottle. The shot in the slot, wasting no time. Schmidt lights the lamp. 4 minutes, 56 seconds gone by here in the third period. And Blue Army extends their lead to 3-0. Officials are set. Schmidt on the draw. He wins it back and then does a nice job of tying up Matt Scooch on the other end. 3-on-2, and that's slowed down and broken up as Coring. He's got half a dozen points in this tournament, all assists. Boisjoli. And actually it was Hupka from Schmidt. Schmidt still picking up the point on the tally, as the netminder steers away from the oncoming traffic, turns himself counterclockwise, and will have a vested interest in the face-off coming to his left. Spinning, not firing, trying to, but unable to get that shot through was Green Bay's Alex Carrillo. Fisher slams on the brakes. Dropping that off was Fisher below the goal line. Backing up is Dietz. And out they come. Golfed up, chipped up, and now Blue Army. With it is Fisher. He's got Dahl with him. Leaves it there. Dahl tries to swing it back into the offensive zone. Goes Willis, firing from the opposite side, and a glove stop by the netminder Johnson. .18 left to go, and we'll have a momentary pause here as one of the officials being called over by a tournament official, but after a brief 10-second conversation, we're set and ready to go. Sylvester dislodges the stick from Will Marty, but both pop out of that exchange just fine. Savino ridden into the boards. Coming up with this is Amon. Blue Army still on the attack. Willis, hands off. Impossible angle, and then Willis tries to bang home the rebound. That's why you take those sharp angle shots. It's unlikely to slip through, but Samper firing where the netminder was hugging the post. Rebound came out into the slot, and Aiden Willis already with 3 goals, 6 points, and a goal earlier in this game, trying to add to it. Tanner Brunder loses his footing. Into the slot it comes. Scooch with the dangle, backed up, driven by Aiden Tim, and we're going to have a penalty. Holding will be the call, as we have reached the second half of this third period. 7:15 remaining, and the first power play opportunity of the contest for Green Bay. Ryan Coring, the defenseman, heads to the box. We skate 5-on-4. On the face-off, Scooch, and he'll pick it up at the goal line. Calling for it is James. He'll receive it, waits, tries to slide it over to the opposite side. Scooch saucered a pass across, but a little too hot to handle. James calls for it, waits, tries to get it back over to Scooch. And actually that was Berg. He and Scooch switching spots. And that one goes well up into the roofing. 1:30 left to go in the man advantage. 6:45 left in regulation. And you've got to imagine if Green Bay is going to come back and win this game, likely going to need some help here on the man advantage. It's tough that they've only had one opportunity on the power play all game, and this being it at this critical juncture of the matchup, likely going to need a good result out of it. Holding, waiting, looking for options is Tim. Tim, and that is golfed out by Dahl. And it will go the length of the ice here at the U14 level. That's not a mistake by the officials. There is still icing called even when a team is shorthanded. 50 seconds left before Coring is out of the box and free. Spinning is Liam Hupka. Fisher jostling with Kralovec. And unable to get lumber on that was Savino. Blank. They'll get it back to Savino. Savino feeds it over to the right side. They had a man on one knee at the opposite side, Reed Pollock, and couldn't find a lane to get that through. Congested traffic. Now 3 seconds left on the man advantage. Free goes Coring. He will immediately head off for a change. And we skate 5-on-5 once more. Here's an opportunity for Boisjoli coming in and can't dance around his man, Verbonic. Verbonic stands the test and helps feed it ahead for Kralovec. Howard right in front of the Blue Army bench, and he draws an interference penalty. 4:48 to play. 3-0. Green Bay trailing, but now back on the man advantage. So, as I said moments ago, critical that Green Bay gets something on the man advantage. Wasn't necessarily thinking that they'd have another opportunity. Here it is. And they're going to need to make the most of it. Long pass ahead, now flipped out. It was on the tape of Obi for just a moment. A drive, right pad saved by the netminder. Novak steps up, and the netminder leaping up, try to catch up with that elevated shot. Brought into the offensive zone and leaves just as quickly as it came in. With it is Ty James. He makes the handoff for Verbonic. Backhanded ahead by Carrillo. Carrillo kicks it over. Tangled up is Shaw. Snapping the shot, it went off of a skate and would have been good. There's no way you could have called that a direct kicking motion. In fact, he was losing his footing because of contact in the slot, but it's sent just wide. Carrillo sends it out front, firing, and frustrated with himself was Obi. Through traffic, the offering by James. And in tight. Sharp angle now, sending it out front, poking at it, and the net comes loose. That's a play that it looks like the goaltender kicked off the net intentionally. What he's trying to do there is get some leverage. You use that spot to push off of. And the faceoff will come to his right. Spun around on the play was Scooch. He applies some physicality, gets tangled up with Dahl. And dropped out front was Amon. Now it's Willis. Aiden Willis tries to feed it over. And a nice stick lift. The puck came loose for a moment, and the official had already blown the play dead. An early whistle, but a whistle nonetheless. And so despite the fact that the puck goes in, no celebration, as from the start, they knew that wasn't going to count. Shot blocked before it ever got through. 2.5 minutes left to go in this U14 Gold Division Championship of the Western States Invitational. Blue Army with a 3-0 lead. They're just trying to seal this one away. Great opportunity there as they fed it across. Fisher trying to capitalize. Now the other way, Scooch knocked off it right at the blue line. Unable to gain the zone. Fisher in. Fisher carves, waits. Able to get around James. Into the corner they go. Sent over. Unable to catch up with it was Marty. Giving chase and losing an edge behind the net is Berg. Griffin backhands a pass. And not enough of an angle, too shallow there. It goes the length of the ice. Minute 28 left to go in regulation. That's all that's standing between Blue Army in the 2019 Western States Invitational Championship. One back to the point. They'll drive on, and that's blocked away into the corner. Backhanded over, a collision there as Novak puts on the pressure. Novak checks over both shoulders, slams on the brakes, scoots away from Kralovac. Sylvester sends it all the way to the opposite side as Savino steps up, flipped up, and now on for Boisjoli. In tight and scoring is Sylvester from Boisjoli to put an exclamation point on this one. 14 minutes, 18 seconds. Time of the goal here in period number 3. And it is all Blue Army, 4-0 they lead. Face-off, Doms, but it's won instead by Reese Shaw. For Sylvester, it is his second of the tournament, 7 points. Boisjoli, he's got a trifecta of assists, and Novak with the secondary helper. His stat line reads now 1 and 2 for 3. Boisjoli, how about this? Reaches double digits, all assists in this tournament. 15 seconds left to go. And Blue Army going to come away with the 2019 Western States Invitational Gold Division Championship. 3 seconds, a scrum in the corner, 2-1, and the horn will sound, and it is victory for Blue Army as they mob their netminder and come away with the title. We want to thank everyone who is a part of the tournament, all the tournament coaches, players, fans, mostly the parents, and of course our staff here putting out the Youth Hockey Hub broadcast of this. Greg Tinty, our camera operator, engineer, and producer. My name is Eric Zamora. One last time, we'll go through a scoring summary. Aiden Willis got the game winner, 141 into the second period from Brody Dietz and Tommy Boisjoli. 16:55 of the second, Ashton Doms, a power play tally from Boisjoli. 4:56 into the third, Liam Hupka from John Schmidt, and then icing on the cake, 14-18, Joey Sylvester from Tommy Boisjoli and John Novak. Thanks so much for being a part of this fantastic weekend. And one last time, a final here from the Bloomington Ice Garden. Blue Army victorious over the Green Bay Junior Gamblers by a final score of 4-0. You've been watching the 2019 Western States Invitational broadcast here on Youth Hockey Hub. We'll send it down ice level for the awards presentation.